Hi, this is Coach Shawnee Lavender, and today I'd like to talk with you about time and perspective. And specifically, one of the challenges that we face as parents and that our children face, and how we can use what I'm going to share to make there be less of a challenge, less of a struggle. So, what I want to share is that our children, especially if they're under age 7, and even really if they're under age 10 or so, they live in a different universe where they have a different relationship with time than we do as adults. So let me just explain this a little bit. So for young children, their relationship with time is much more living in the present moment. They're very present moment based. So though they can get excited about things in the future and remember things in the past and have fun with both of those, they really get into the moment that they're in. And so one of the things that this does is it makes them really immersed in what they're doing at the moment. Now, as adults, the universe that we live in with time is very much really about the future a lot. We are in that mode of sort of thinking ahead. It's like when you first learned to drive, you learned that you needed to look further ahead than you thought you needed to. So it's that same kind of mode and relationship that we have with time as adults. We are very task-oriented, and so we're thinking through our day, what's next, and what needs to happen in order for this thing to happen. And so although we can be in the present, we aren't often in the present. We are very distracted by our thinking about what is to come and our responsibilities. So it's not to say one perspective is correct and one is wrong. It's simply to be aware that we really are existing in two different universes as children and adults in relationship to time. So the conflict that this tends to bring up for most of us is that we as parents, we think, and we don't realize that our children live in this different universe. And so we perceive their behaviors at times as being sort of this insubordinate. They're trying to make things hard. They're making our lives difficult. When in reality, they're just doing their thing. And they are in their time zone, so to speak, and we're in ours. And from their perspective, they could think that we're making it difficult. Why is mom rushing me? Why is dad always talking to me about, hey, get ready for this, and then we have to do that? So it's this awareness that I want us to have about our differences in time. So when you are faced with a situation where there is a time deadline of some sort, whether it's getting out the door in the morning or getting to some kind of activity on time, one of the things you want to remember is your child is in that moment by moment universe. And so they need much more time than you think is probably necessary to be ready to move, to be ready to get ready and get their socks on or get their homework together and get their lunch. Whatever the tasks are, they actually need more time. And if we're not aware of this difference in perspective that we have with our children, we're going to feel irritated and annoyed and really be putting onto them some ideas that aren't really true. So again, we're going to be saying they're making it hard for us. They don't listen. They're not, on board. And while there may be truths to some of that, maybe they are having a hard time listening to you well. That's beside the point. The point is that when you remember that you live in two different universes from a time perspective, you can approach them in a different way so that you're coming with less stress and less drivenness in your energy, and that you are aware of and working with their natural tendencies so that they don't feel coerced and rushed, and they are able to really work with you more cooperatively. So I have some specific strategies on that. I'm not going to share that in this video, but this video is really about raising your awareness to the fact that your children aren't slow, they're not obstinate, they're not making things difficult. They simply operate by the nature of their brain development and where they are in learning about the world, and basically they're soaking it all in. So they need that, real focus to be able to get what they need to grow and develop in a healthy way. As adults, we've been through those phases, hopefully, and so now we sort of filter out a lot of things and, generally speaking, don't get distracted by all that's going on, so that we can say, okay, I'm on to this task, and now I'm on to this, and then we did this, and we can have an orderly, logical way of moving through our day. So I hope that perspective is helpful. I hope it gives you some calm next time you are getting ready to work with your child on doing something that's more time sensitive. And remember, the other thing, before I close, our children are living in the adult world. So we may not notice it ourselves because we're used to it and it seems normal to us from our perspective. But for them, we really rush a lot and we're going. And so for them, that is a lot of energy that is discombobulating for them and stressful. And so just by the nature of them living in the adult world, we are putting stress on them. And so that stress ultimately, if you've watched some of my other videos, you know about our 3 brains and how this stress makes them flip their lid and they are less easy to work with because they're not in their human mind. So just remember that too, that they're living in this world that puts those constraints on them, and that's stressful for them. So have compassion for them, have compassion for yourself, and remember that we live in 2 different universes as we regard time, and we can meet in the middle in a way that works for both parents and children. Thanks so much, and if you want to learn more, you can follow links to my website and my other videos. This is Shani Lavender, the Conscious Parents Coach. Have a great day.